Okay, welcome to lab number 9 of AI-102. This is the first of the OpenAI or Gen AI labs. So we're going to start off by showing you how to create an OpenAI service. The easiest way to do that in your Azure environment is to search for OpenAI. And then remember to pick Azure OpenAI. Then again, create one. And then we have these usual selections. So a resource group, a name, and then a pricing tier. And that's it. Now we just go next to be able to create. Creation is going to take a minute here. Remember the OpenAI service, again, is just a kind of a placeholder. It doesn't actually do anything yet, but it allows us to deploy base models. So if we go over to our repo, specifically the first app here, we can open this in the integrated terminal. And then we can start off by adding the required SDK. So .NET add package azure.ai.openai. And we want to have version 2.0.0. Okay, it's done. Meanwhile, let's go and take a look at our resource. It has been deployed, which is great. So let's deploy a model there. And we're going to do that using the CLI over here. So let's try this out. The command is AZ cognitive services account deployment create. And we need to give it the resource group name. I'm just going to copy paste it over from here. And I think we need to do it like this, yeah. Then the name of the service that we created, that was deepdives OpenAI. Okay, then we need a name for the deployment. Deployment name. And we're just going to call it the model name. So it's going to be GPT-35 Turbo. A little bit older, but good enough for our purposes. And the model name is going to be the same, right? GPT-35 Turbo. And then it might be a good idea to always define the model version. For our purposes, it's going to be 0125. And then the model format is going to be OpenAI. Then we have SKUs as well. We're going to use the standard SKU here. And then we're going to make sure that we don't take up too much capacity. So I'm going to say that just 5,000 tokens are going to be enough for us. Let's see if this works. Devlopment. Okay. Nope. Let's try again, right? So try again. We're not logged in yet. One more time. Okay, I think it's there. All right, so next up, let's configure our application using the app settings as normally. So now the deployment name was the one that we just put in, right? It was GPT 35 Turbo. Then the key and endpoint we can get from the resource. Click on here and then open resource management. Then we get keys and endpoints. Let's take the key first. And then the endpoint. There we go. Okay, that should work. Then let's take a look at the code. So we need to do some imports here. So Azure AI, OpenAI, and then we need also OpenAI chat. Okay. Then here you can see, as normal, we're reading in the configuration. Here we configure the Azure OpenAI client. So let's do that. It's going to be an Azure OpenAI client. Let's call it Azure client. It's going to be a new. Azure OpenAI client. And the constructor we're going to use is going to need a URI. So let's do a new URI with the endpoint. And then it needs the credentials, Azure key credentials. And we have the OAI key for that. All right, that should work. Then we need a chat client in this version of the API. Call it a chat client. And we get that from the Azure client. Get chat client. And now we need the the deployment name. That one. Okay, something wrong here. It's API key credential. There we go. Okay. Good. Then we're going to call the client. Okay, and that's going to be something that we need to do with options. So we're first going to configure chat completion options. And we're going to set temperature on option. Put it to 0.7. This is a floating point. And then let's set the max output token count to 800. Okay, that should do it. And then let's call the client so we get a chat completion back. and chat client. Complete chat. And this one takes an array of messages. So we're going to do it like this. No. Like this. Maybe like this. So we're going to have a system chat message. And then we're going to have a user chat message, right? User message. And then it needs the options as well. Wow. Chat completion option. Cool. That's it. So then we have our completion. So let's write that out. Let's first put the role, and then semicolon, and then the content. And this is an array, so we need to pick the first element, and then in it we have the text. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So what happens up here? So we read in the config, then we allow you to change the system prompt using system message from system text. Reading system text, that's here. Trim that. And then the user message, trim that as well. If it is quit, then quit. Otherwise, get response from OpenAI. And what does that do? Looks for the settings, opens up the client, and then gets the response back. Okay. This could work. Let's try it out. Let's take a look at our system. It's currently empty, so we need to put something in here at some point. All right, let's try this out. So now let's put into the system message, you are an AI assistant. Very classic stuff. Okay, so that's there. Then the user message, write an intro for a new wildlife rescue. So first of all, we get the role, so this assistant, and welcome to Wildhaven Rescue, where every animal has a second chance. Blah, 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 blah. Pretty standard stuff. So let's change the system prompt. You're an AI assistant helping to write emails, right? Okay, that's changed. And as the prompt, let's say write a promotional email for a new wildlife rescue, including the following. Rescue name is Contoso. It specializes in elephants, and call for donations to be given at our website. Okay, here's the email. Let's make it a bit bigger. All right, so subject: support wildlife rescue at Contoso, help save elephants today. Dear wildlife enthusiasts, blah 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 blah. Contoso, elephants. Join us. Donation. Warm regards. Yeah. Seems to be working pretty nicely. In the lab information, there are a little bit more complex prompts for you as well, but we're not going to be using that. We're just going to go jump directly to grounding. So there's a grounding context here. Not that one. This one. So there is some information here. Let's just put on the word wrap so we can read it. So plenty information about our wildlife rescue that allows us to ground the model into the correct factual information. Okay, so let's use that in our program. So the way that we do this is down here when we're doing the format and send the request, we're adding grounding context. So let's just kind of write that out so we remember which version we're running. Adding grounding context from grounding.txt. Okay, and then let's get it. Let's read it in text. It was grounding text. All right. And then let's add that to the user message, but to the beginning. So grounding text plus user message. Oops. Like that. So now the user message is prefixed by the grounding message. So let's change the system message here. You're an AI assistant. Okay. Who helps? People find information. You provide answers from the text provided in the prompt, and respond concisely. Okay, that's a good system prompt. Let's save that one. And then let's run this again. To quit the old version first. Okay, so let's try it again. So the system prompt is okay. And let's say what animal is the favorite of children at Contoso? Okay, it added the grounding information and it answers the favorite animal of children at Contoso is the red panda. And now that's because we're saying so here in the grounding text. Contoso's red panda rescue program, the most successful. One of the most popular animals in the Contoso is the red panda. Have captured the hearts of children all over the world. There we go. So that's how it works in C#. Now let's do the same thing again, but in Python. So yeah, unfortunately the Python version is no longer working. So gonna have to try to do that again later on. Thanks for watching and see you in the next lab.